Today I want to talk with you guys a little bit about toxic family members, especially if you are struggling with one right now and you are trying to decide whether or not to keep this person as a part of your life or perhaps start creating some distance or some separation from them. I have a lot of clients that deal with this as well. I have seen a lot of friends deal with this, and it's a really tricky topic. I think because in society we're really trained that, you know, family is family, blood is blood, and it becomes very confusing when we're sold these sort of messages. You know, this person who is supposed to be our family and love and protect us and keep us safe, but in reality they're doing things that are complete opposite. And so we end up kind of banging our head against the wall and we're unable to wrap our mind around the duality of that situation. So today I want to talk about, if you're interested or thinking about this, why you would do it, when you would do it, and what are maybe some of the benefits that you might get as a result. This is a decision that's going to be completely up to you. Only you're going to know what the right thing for you is, but it might help to think about things in a little bit of a different way. First, let's talk about why you would want to maybe separate or distance yourself from a toxic family member. Well, the most important thing to remember is that if somebody is seriously negatively impacting your mental, physical, or emotional health in any way, it's really time to take a different look at that situation and maybe start creating some space. Those are some areas that are very important for us to function normally and healthily or healthy as human beings. And if those needs are not being met, it can really cause some damage. And so I think you need to consider if people are meeting your needs in these areas. Now, if it's like a one-off or it's something that happens from time to time, you know, I can understand that, you know, someone's going to always have a bad day. You know, you're not always going to be 100%. I know I'm not. And, you know, but if this is just, it's happening every single time, it's really wearing on you and you're starting to notice some negative or adverse effects, I think it's definitely time to maybe consider putting some distance or some space between you and that person. The next thing we want to talk about is, like, when should you do this in timing? Like, when is really the right time for this? I think first and foremost, it's really important to try to set boundaries with people, because as difficult as it is or as impossible as it feels, you're always really in control of the situation that you're in, right? At least to a certain extent. So if you are not living with these people, it's definitely easier to create some distance and set some boundaries and be able to enforce some consequences for those boundaries, because that is an important part of setting those too. You can't just set them, and then if somebody breaks them or pushes through the boundary, there has to be a consequence so that you train them and they learn that it's not okay to keep doing that. So you do have a little bit of control in that way in general. The thing I will say though is that it'll feel really hard. You know, you'll feel bad and you feel guilty, and they might try to make you feel bad and guilty, but it's always important to try to set boundaries if you can. Now, unfortunately, what I will say is that there are certain situations where people cannot make separations from really toxic people in your life. So what do you do then? Well, you honestly just do the best you can with what you have. Maybe it comes with putting your headphones on and, you know, putting something calming or positive that's going in instead of listening to everything else that's going around you. Trying to find as many ways as you can to really nurture yourself and take care of yourself. Find support in other areas, whether it's friends or, you know, online groups or therapists or anything like that you can do. Because sometimes those situations are not always easy, and there's not always just, oh, I can set a boundary or I can just leave. You know, please know that people are stuck in those situations as well. And I really feel bad that you know, like, that it's not easy for everybody, but like I said, just do the best you can, and if nothing else, know that I support you and I'm cheering you on and I'm here for you. The last thing that we want to really talk about today is we want to talk about the benefits of removing a toxic family member from your life. How is that going to help you? You know, while this is going to be really difficult at first for you, if you can give yourself some time to heal and the support you need to heal, you're going to start feeling a lot better about yourself. There's going to be less tension. There's going to be more relief. And also that space, if you're creating that space between you and somebody else, what it's going to do is it's going to be really shocking to the other person. And if you're lucky and they are willing to change, it's going to give them some time and space to really reflect on what they've been doing. It's going to give them the opportunity to really soak in all of the things that you've tried to express to them that they've been trying really hard to ignore or just have been ignoring. And it will also teach them to really respect your boundaries that you're putting out, knowing like, hey, if I'm going to continue to be acting like a jerk, or I want to continually dump my stuff all over, you know, so-and-so, they're not going to let me do it. Like, they're just going to be gone. And if they're willing to change, they'll change. And if they're not, they're going to dump that stuff all over everyone else, and it's going to no longer be your problem, which is going to be a relief for you. Because some people can change and some people can't, and it's just really knowing the difference between which one is which. So if you're struggling with this today, I hope this video has been helpful for you in order to either resolve it or really protect you in your space. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day.